Yeah.
We're
Press the
here,
wrong button
Steve.
there. I meant to press the logo, but it didn't come on. So I guess you pressed it at the same time or something.
No,
Anyway,
I was waiting. I was watching it get the second smaller, and then I was like,
well, I hope
"Gonna,
everybody
you gotta
enjoyed
press
the
it."
impromptu Alien trailer because I didn't mean to press that button in the first place anyway. That was
It's a
most
great
best
trailer.
friend alone.
It's all going well.
So welcome to another Car Crash TV moment where we slam straight into one of these professionally rolled out intros. Smooth as butter. Anyway, good evening, and obviously I'm in the chair, so this only means one thing: it's a sci-fi game. As you can see from Ian's wall as well, behind him, lovely array of sci-fi weapons that I'm sure he won't be using this evening because, judged by my character sheet, I'm wielding a heavy wrench, not a pistol. But anyway, there we go. So we will be playing Alien this evening. So welcome back, players. Hope you've had a nice, long, relaxing, restful few weeks since the last time we played, and I've got rid of all that stress because I'm sure we're going to be building some up tonight with our lovely game master, or game mother, I should say, Mr. David Seamark. How are you, Dave?
I'm good. I'm good. Delighted to be back for part two of the fun and adventures.
Yes, it is in fact part two of the OLENYA Bay, which is a cinematic one shot you wrote yourself. You run us through session one, obviously. You'll be able to find on YouTube. It is up there already, so yeah, tune in for that. This is, as I say, episode 2. So we'll get started in a minute, but before we do, let's run us through some players. We have had some changes, so we might as well start with him. It's Josh with a haircut. Hello, new Josh.
Hello. Am I introducing myself?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. Oh, we'll carry on as we meet to go on.
Here's the new guy, but you didn't tell him what to do. Just throw him in it.
Silly me, expecting him to remember having done this before.
With the King's coronation, I'm Josh the Second in this stream. So
very good.
You get the title of Big Josh now.
Yeah, I beat Josh up, and I'm now the master of all the Joshes. So yeah, I'm now on the stream. So
isn't that the 5-year-old?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've aged up a bit.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And playing Galena, we have Richard. Hello, Richard. How are you?
Hi there. I'm all good. Richard from Warrior Prince 3D. We are a little 3D printing company, printing anything from wee little minis to statues up behind me there, to even lovely big boys this size.
Wow, that's cool.
You've got to paint that as well.
Yeah, I've got to paint that at some point. But no, anything sort of custom-based printing we can handle. Also running, I'm test printing a Kickstarter at the moment by the Den of Iniquity. Some incredibly beautiful sculpts. If you want to head over there and have a look, pop onto the Instagram. I've got all sorts of links up on there at the moment about it. I had the pleasure of printing and painting their free gift, which is a raven skull, which is printed some pictures up on there as well. But
I did see that. It really does look kind like a skull. It looks really
well. It was literally he sculpted it on as a raven skull. It is completely anatomically correct, size, everything, and yeah, it is beautiful. So I printed out a couple, one at the full size, one at the sort of smaller, more necklacey like size. But I've been ordered to print a few more to make like wind chime things out of them. So
wow,
should be interesting. But yeah, go and have a look, check him out, and it is. He's an incredible sculptor. His attention to detail and the stuff he puts out is beautiful.
So is that also the Kickstarter you was mentioning before we came on air?
Yes. So it's a Lilith Kickstarter at the moment, and he had the one previous to that, which I tested as well, which was the Huntress's Quartet. Again, beautiful sculpts, single models or complete diorama, and multiple sizes. So yeah, lovely stuff.
Cool. Right, thank you very much. So welcome back, Ian, Dragonborn Industries, and of course FizzWiz from our Dragonlance campaign. How are you this evening?
I'm pretty good. I'm not fighting latency tonight, apparently, which is fantastic. So that's the main thing. Hi, I'm Ian. I'm assuming it just did it. However, I'm Ian, the Dragonborn Bard. You can find me at Dragonborn Industries on Instagram and also the website. I make dice. We are starting to create some content. We're also doing bits and bobs here and there with 3D printing. Not to the same sort of stuff that Richard is doing, but we've got a few bits on there and a few, hopefully, bits coming up in the future. I started streaming a lot more. You can find me here with Band of Badgers quite a bit, and also now on my channel, which is Dragonborn Industries. Yeah, I am just very happy to be here.
Cool. Thank you very much. So I am here sat between two Daves. Daves on both sides. So we'll go to this. No, not that one. That Dave first. the Chief Badger, Lord of all. Go ahead,
Lord
Dave.
of all. I like that title. That we should use that.
Chief Badger, Lord of all mammals, is that? Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Lord of all needs to change to Lord of all.
Fluffy,
we need
four-legged.
We need a cartoon of the badger standing on his two hind legs in the woods.
But it's on
get a nice crown
Coronation
on
Day.
me as well. Yeah.
We all know what badgers do in the woods, don't we?
Yes, plenty of it too.
Just like bears.
We do it everywhere. We do it. Here we go. We do it all over YouTube. You can find us here. You can find us there. You can find our merchandise everywhere. And if you want to help us out, you can find us there too. So there you go. There's all the stuff on the screen that you need to do. But don't forget youtube.com/bandofbadgers. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thank you very much.
Over to you.
And then last but definitely not least, because he is in charge tonight, so I have to suck up a little bit. It is Dave Seamark, our guest game mother, and of course writer of the OLENYA Bay.
It won't work, Steve. So no.
Oh, I know.
So and it's an unusual feeling for me as well. So it's all a bit odd. But yeah, hi, I'm Dave Seamark. Delighted to be here. You can find me. I'm co-host of a podcast called the Effect Podcast. And we have a magazine show that comes out every 2 weeks, and then we have a load of APs on effectap.org. Basically, of games that we play. Quite a lot of that is a game that we are designing and putting together ourselves called Tales of the Old West, which hopefully we'll make some progress on later this year. But I'm also 3 months into full-time freelancing, so that's been going brilliantly. I had lots of work so far, which is a surprise, I guess, but it's also great. So a few years ago, I wrote OLENYA Bay for the lockdown convention season, and that's when it first got played. So the guys here kindly asked me to come along and run it again. So it's my absolute pleasure to do so.
Well, thank you for agreeing to do it, because we're having fun playing it so far.
We'll have to change that. Fun? Oh, this isn't fun.
It's like watching a horror movie, isn't it? You know what you've signed up for, and you just wait to the gory bit. Right. So while we're there with you, can you please give us an update to where we were last time, or if you wish, deflect that question at somebody else in the party?
Normally, I very much like to get my players to remind us of where we are, but I don't mind kicking us off, and then you guys can fill in. So, previously on OLENYA Bay, you guys were all crew on a merchant ship called the Tunguska, which sank, and you were the only ones to escape alive. In your battered-up lifeboat, you managed to get yourself to a disused and abandoned oil rig called OLENYA Bay, which is the only thing you could find in the seas around you where you could get yourself some safety. Having got there, you managed to get aboard. The whole place is rickety, it's falling apart, it's rusty, it's not riding in the water very well. It hasn't been maintained for at least a year. There's lots and lots of seaweed around the bottom, and in that seaweed there are some creatures that gave you a very hard time when you were trying to access the ladder to get on board the station. One of you, I think, took slightly more injuries than the others. I think Fam took a nasty blow and broke his leg, if I recall.
No, it was definitely Yuri.
that snapped, didn't it? It just snapped like a twig. That's what
Yes,
we'd
it
like to
did.
know.
But you all managed to get aboard the station. Your little lifeboat sinking behind you, leaving those creatures clutching at straws. On board, you had a little look around. The place was looking pretty deserted until you were found by some working Joe androids who seemed to be stuck here, as far as you can tell. But you were very, very unwell. You were thirsty. You were hungry. You were exhausted. You were freezing. And they took you to the medical center, gave you some food, gave you fresh clothes, gave you a place to sleep and a bit of medical aid. And you went to sleep. And you had beautiful sleep, like you hadn't slept for years. But then a few hours before dawn, you were woken up by noises. And suddenly on the window, and there's somebody banging on the window outside the med bay. You can't hear it very clearly. These windows are quite thick, but you can hear the thumping. You can hear there's two people actually out there, a man and a woman, looking very disheveled, very, very wild. And that's where we left it.
Okay, thank you.
Does anybody want to add anything as summary from last time before?
Is our safety officer still with us?
Yes, your safety officer is still with you. I might just get you all to introduce yourselves in character. So the safety officer is called Asanovic, and he is quite badly shaken by the events. He's the safety officer aboard Tunguska. Obviously didn't do a great job seeing it sank. He's a bit phased out and he's not catatonic, but he's 1,000-yard stare and is not well. Let's start with Pham Vei Min. Hi, Ian. Do you want to introduce yourself in character, please?
Yeah, not much in terms of speaking done so far. Pham is a gentleman who is a marshal on the Tunguska. He was, I guess, a marshal there in that aspect as a member of kind of like the security force that was part of that ship. He has, when he's come aboard the OLENYA Bay, he found himself getting injured and working his way, trying to get up with Ivo. When he got to the top, was like pulling a picture of somebody out of his coat, and then seemed to be very, very focused on his own goal of something to do with that picture. He's very quiet and a man of a few words, but is, I guess, stoic is the right word.
Doubly so, considering he's got a broken leg.
Yeah, and he has a broken leg.
Cool. Ivarenka.
I am Galina, and I am a warrant officer. I was a little bit displeased with how things were going, and once the accident happened, I had a little bit of a chat with Yuri, and it was not great between us. I am not happy with the company, and I have been shaken by the events of what has happened. My good friend Pham, I fear losing him as we got onto the vessel, and I am looking to our supposed leader and seeing his weaknesses abound, and I am unimpressed.
Cool, thank you. That sounds like a nice lead into Yuri. If you could just briefly introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Yuri. I am a junior engineer. I made it off the Tunguska, like my other crew members. Apparently, I'm secretly a bit of a coward, but nobody else knows that. I escaped the Tunguska disaster. It was a stroke of luck, but I don't want that to run out now. So I want to get home to my wife and baby daughter. That's my top priority. I don't want to make any sacrifice for the good of the people.
Cool, thank you. Okay, let's go to Sun Chun Hee.
I am Sun Chun Hee. I was the pilot on the Tunguska. I am Korean. Now, my biggest trait is I believe that sacrifice and service for the good of people is my driving philosophy behind all things. So I want to keep this team alive for as long as I can. I'm willing to sacrifice myself to do it. Me and my lucky gold coin.
Cool. And last but not least, Slaven.
I'm Slaven. I am Commissar of Tunguska, and I am here to make sure that everybody's political well-being is looked after. And the interests of the UPP are at the top of everybody's priority list, Galina. And obviously, the loss of the Tunguska is very, very worrying, and and the fault can lie in a few places, and I intend to find the culprit. Whether that be sabotage, maybe at the fault of our security officer, clear negligence in execution of officer duty from the surviving warrant officer from Tunguska, or maintenance. But obviously, maintenance clearly falls under the purview of the officer in charge. And it's through my my decision making and calm level-headedness that we've managed to get this far, and I intend to see us safely home to make sure that justice is served.
Cool. Excellent. So thank you for that. Right. You've just been woken up from your deep, exhausted sleep by these figures. It's dark. There's very little light. There's a little bit of ambient light in the room you're in, with a couple of sort of bedside lamps on there with little their own power packs, but there's not a lot of light. But through the window, you can see these two figures, and they are banging the window.
Do we recognise any of them?
No.
I think Vo with Fam were like, he can't really sit up or do much because he's still in so much pain, but he kind of like reaches across and he's like, son, and he like tries to grab you.
I'm awake, and I'm sitting up in the cot, looking around. I can see them at the window. I turn around to Fam and I just say, I know you can't move, but wait here. And I'm going to rush out the door and the nearest door and see if I can find these people outside.
Can we put the map up, please, Steve?
Yes, we can.
You shouldn't have said, I've gone
so
to it.
if we can just bring that out slightly. Let's have so we can just see the whole world. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
That's cool. Yeah, so the banging is at the window to the top left, to the north. Okay. I don't think you can't see my cursor on there, can you? No. So
if you hold down the right button, mouse button, you can.
Oh yeah, there we go. I'm
you
red.
have a laser.
So
okay.
So that's the window. That's the window where they're banging on the two figures are. Which door are you going through?
I will rush out. Where are you? I will rush out. I'm assuming this is a door, and these are windows, aren't they?
That's right. So that's a door on the right. There's a door on the bottom.
Up here.
Okay, you don't get that far. The door.
Oh,
when you get to the door, you try and move it, and it's kind of a big metal door that you slide across with a big handle.
Yeah.
You pull it down. The door is stuck fast. It won't open.
I spin round with my back towards the door, put my hands on it. I said, "It's locked. Try the other door. Someone, try the other door."
I'll run to the other door.
I will reach across to the bedside table, and I will pick up the flashlight that I took from the box that was on the lifeboat that we left in the last session. and I will reach across to the bed next to me, where I shall tap Yuri firmly but gently on the shoulder with the end of the flashlight to wake him up, make sure he is awake, and then I shall gesture at Yuri with the flashlight and say, Yuri, 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 please go with son, check out what's outside.
I'll wake up from a deep slumber, and yeah, obviously we're woken up. I'll run over to the door.
Yeah, both doors are sealed shut, locked.
Looking around, sorry,
Yeah.
is there anything like next to us or on the bedsides that we could like write with, or basically like hold up a message to the window?
There's probably some scraps somewhere in a drawer. Yeah, on a bedside table. Scraps of an old pad that's been sitting there for a year, so it's all a bit crusty. There's a pencil in there as well, helpfully.
Yeah, I'll just like doors locked, and I'll just hold it up at the window in front of them, and just be like gesturing. But I'm like, I have to hop across to there and like lean up against the window and be like,
yeah. They seem, they're not hysterical, but they seem, or not. Yeah, they're not as bad hysterical, but they are definitely agitated, and they kind of see that, and they're like, and they keep banging. Can you make an observation test, please, fam?
yeah, sure. We have observation. Oh, whole 4 dice. I've got 3 stress, so shoot there going on there.
Oh yeah, don't forget your stress. Absolutely.
Do I lose any stress for sleeping?
Did you sleep?
Well, in theory, you should actually. Yeah, that's a fair comment. I think everyone is down to 1 stress.
Sweet.
So normally, sleeping for that amount of time would have got rid of all your stress, but I'm not going to allow that considering the situation that you're in.
So if we are only at 1 stress, does that mean we are still at 1 stress?
Yes. Sorry.
My normal dice are a 1, a 4, a 3, and a 5, and my stress dice is a 3.
You can push if you wish.
Yeah, go on then. I had a stress dice for that, don't I?
You do, yeah.
Yeah. So it's the 4 regulars. No. I've got a 6 and a 4 on the stress dice, but the others are 3, 2, 5, 5.
You got a success though? You got a 6.
Oh yeah, on one of the stress dice.
Because that's fine. A success on a stress dice is still
cool.
a success. Absolutely.
Then I see everything.
So it's clear to you that they are very frightened of something. You can't work out what they're saying. They seem to be shouting in a language that you don't understand. You're not understanding it.
Do they seem like UPP attire or people, or do they seem more? Not trying to stereotype, but like more the United Americas.
I think you probably are familiar with English, even if you don't understand it, and you think they're shouting in English. The one thing that you do seem to get from them, they seem to be saying that the robots are broken, the androids are broken.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just turn to the room while I'm up against the window holding that note, and I'm like, United America's Working Joe's broken.
This thing fine earlier. I'll run over to Son and see if I can help him, if the 2 of us can budge the door.
Was the handle stuck, or is it just not working, the handle?
No, the handle moved, but that should have unlocked it. You should have been able to push the door open. It wasn't opening. You can have a stamina test to try and open it with a dice of help from Ivarenka.
Okay. Yep. Galina, help.
Assuming Galina, you have... So Galina, you need to have stamina as a skill to be able to offer a dice of help.
I have it as a skill.
I don't think
I just might... That's all right. I'll just let you do it anyway. Have the die of help. I think that's absolutely fine under the circumstances.
Right. Okay, I've got a 6. I've got a 2 on the stress dice. I've got 1 6.
Okay. Yeah, you hear kind of something scrape, but the door does kind of begin to open, and it opens about halfway. And stood opposite outside is a Joe, and it's got a hand on the handle on the other side, and it says, "This is one of the ones you spoke to earlier. This is Chelevek, and it says, for your own safety, you need to stay in this room. The situation is being dealt with." And as he says that, those of you who are by the window can see a couple of working Joes out on the walkway outside where these people are, coming to them and not violently restraining them, but using force to restrain them and try and take them away.
Okay, so to Chelevek, I want to say, as I'm slowly stepping out of the room.
He's right in your way. You'll have to push
Okay.
past him to do that.
I'll put my hand on his chest.
He's deliberately blocking your way. Yeah.
And try to push him back, but say to him, "Look, Chelevek, look, there are people in trouble. We need to go and help them.
You need to
must
make
go and help them."
opposed stamina roll. If you're trying to push him backwards.
Can I mutter under my breath, Galena? I need some backup.
Yes. Could you remind me, these creations, are they part of the company? Are they within our effective structure?
Yes. So these are, well, they're designed and built by a company called Siegson, but they sell them to anybody who'll buy them. And so, yes, there are quite a lot of working Joes in the UPP.
So basically, I was wondering if I can try and pull rank and order it as warrant officer to step aside.
Okay. But first, Sun is just giving it a shove.
Yeah.
So make your stamina roll then, Sun.
Okay. I have 2 6s.
Okay, it has 2 6s. So it resists, and you don't manage to move it. And it says, "For your safety, I cannot allow you to leave this room."
I'll say.
And as this is happening, you can see there are 2 people outside are being sort of grabbed by the shoulders or by the upper arms, and they're being dragged away.
I spin round and Yuri, get through that door.
Can I do
I'll
like
call
some
over.
kind of? Oh,
So-
sorry.
No, that's
So
right. Go for it.
I was
So,
going to say if I
Galene,
could do some like diving underneath the legs of the working Joe.
You could give that a try. Yep. So that's
Alright.
going to be a mobility roll.
Okay.
Against
Right,
his
maybe.
Are you on the other? Are you on the other door, Yuri?
I am, yeah, but I obviously seeing all
Okay.
this happening. I obviously would take a bit of time, I suppose, to get to that other door.
Yeah. So Galena, if you wanted to do something, you are.
Yeah. So basically,
On the scene.
when I see Sun sort of shoving, I'll call over. I'm Galina Avalenka, warrant officer. I order you to move out of our way now. We need to see to these people.
Okay. What's your talent? Pull rank.
Yeah, pull rank.
And what does that do?
I don't know.
So some of the characters, I think I wrote down what the talents did, but maybe not that one.
No, I've literally just got the.
Here we go. Pull rank. You can use your command skill to order non-officer PCs and NPCs around. Roll command against their manipulation. If successful, the target must follow your order. Your stress level goes up by 1 by doing this.
Okay.
Too many stress.
Yeah, that's it.
While that's kind of going on, do we know if OLENYA is like a UPP run facility or a Western America thing, or is United Americas thing, or is it like a commercial oil rig?
Now, OLENYA Bay was a UPP facility.
So to see United America's personnel here is an oddity.
Yes, absolutely. But I mean, they look ragged. They're wearing rags. They look very dirty. Their hair is kind of is disheveled. They're not looking. They don't look like they just arrived to do a job. Let's put it that way.
No, and they don't look combative. They just look like workers or regular people. Or
from what you've seen, there's not much else to say other than what I've described, really.
So, yeah, I guess you would call out to the room then, like, this is UPP station, not United America.
So it's clearly the Joes are only doing their job, which is securing the facility after it was decommissioned. We should just
Okay,
wait
Galena,
patiently.
do you want to make your roll, Galena?
So that increases my stress to 2. So I take it. Do I roll then 2 stress for this roll?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I got a 4 and a 6 on the stress dice, and I got 2 6s, 2 5s, 2 3s, and a 4.
Okay, so that's 3 successes. That's pretty good. You think you sound pretty authoritative, and Chelovek says, "I'm sorry to disappoint you, Warrant Officer Overenka. I cannot allow you through for your safety. Safety protocols take precedence."
I think hearing that, Fam glances, his head snaps towards Slaven and is he's like they shouldn't be acting like that. He just gestures wrong.
I'll call over Komisaroshenko.
Yes.
Okay, so
Galena.
whilst all this is happening, Yuri, you were heading towards that door. I think you've arrived there now.
Yeah, I mean, I was probably going to do a run up, but obviously seeing that there is a Varenka and Fam, sorry, it may be obviously a bit ambitious to do a leg, obviously underneath 3 people effectively all at the same time. So I can still try it, but
So entirely up to you.
I see obviously all the commotion. I'm going to maybe try and force the door that I'm at rather than running over to them. So
Right. Okay. So that's a stamina roll at your door, then, please. To try and force
okay,
the door
so I
open.
don't have the stamina.
So you just roll your.
Sorry,
strength.
yeah, I have the roll stamina. Yeah, okay, cool. So that
So it's
is
your stamina skill, but if
5.
you've got nothing in it, you just roll the basic strength.
Yeah, I've got 5, so 4 plus 1 plus the stress die. So we got 1 6 and a 5 on the stress.
Okay. Yeah. So similarly, you managed to pull the door open a little bit, get it about halfway open, but again, there is another working Joe stood on the other side of the door. This time, it's the one you spoke to earlier called Smirtny.
Certainly. Okay.
And he says exactly the same as Chelovek did. "I'm sorry, you must remain in the medical bay for your own safety, whilst we resolve the situation."
Could I attempt to try and push past this working Joe?
You can. That's going to be a stamina check again, unless you. So you can either use stamina or you can use close combat if you want to try and sort of more violently push it out of the way.
I mean, I've got this hothead talent. I don't know if that allows me to do anything.
That allows you to disobey orders, basically.
Okay, well, I'm disobeying order right now anyway, but...
Let me just, whilst we're at it, so hothead, you gain +2 modification to opposed rolls for manipulation whenever someone tries to give you an order. You can use this to resist the officer's career talent, pull rank, if you wanted to.
Okay.
Anyone else got a talent they want clarifying whilst we're here?
Yes, please.
I can do that in private chat if you like. I'll get back to cool rule. But...
Subdue and tough, please.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Okay, tough basically adds 2 to your health.
Oh!
It should already be on there, I suspect. So it should be
How
your
much health should I have?
Strength +2 for you. So health is normally strength, just straight strength, but you get 2 on top of that.
Yeah. Okay.
The other talent I've got is influence. I presume it is what it is on the barrel.
Steve, are you going to drop
Yeah,
stuff in the chat then?
I'll drop that
Okay,
in
lovely.
the chat, yeah.
Cool.
I'm going to try the stamina roll to try and push past the working Joe, if I may.
You certainly may, yeah.
Okay, so 1 6 and a 3 on the stress die.
Okay. It might as well be a statue. Doesn't budge.
Okay.
So those of you still in the room can see that the 2 people have now been taken away out of your sight. The 2 Joes that got them, they weren't being violent with them. They were using force, but they were being forceful but gentle, if that makes sense. Minimum force.
I guess I'll just call out as what is the situation? and like just like sort of aiming it at the Joes, but like loud enough so that everybody in the room is sort of like, hopefully it's posing that question to the Joes, like, what situation? Let us know what it is.
Yeah. Chelovek says, I heard a loud scream there. So that might have been one of the people being dragged off. Excellent sound effects, Steve. You just didn't even know you wanted them. It's just brilliant. Chelovek says,
All right.
they have been here for many months. They are castaways from a ship disaster. We have been trying to help them, but it is a hard time for them here.
Hold on. You mean you have America's civilians? Is that right? On here, how do you know they're not spies? How do you know they're not some kind of secret military? Why are they even here? If that's the case, get them off. I thought they may have been civilians, just people in need. But if they're from United Americas, that's...
I have no knowledge of their political affiliations. They were in need of assistance, being cast adrift in the oceans, and we offered that assistance.
Do you have a spare lifeboat and just put them on? Get them off?
We have no lifeboats.
I understand your sentiment, son, but clearly this is showing the magnanimity of the UPP. And it's obviously, if this was the United Americas rig, yes, we would all be thrown overboard to the fishes and whales. But the UPP has mercy. It's took these people on, and the working Joes here are dealing with the problem. We must all calm down and just wait. Just wait until the situation has been resolved, and then we can make our way to the command center and obviously radio for assistance. And then, son, we will most certainly deal with this United Americas issue at that point.
If that's the case, I recommend, Commissar, that we put them under lock and key.
Of course,
We
and I'm
don't
sure that's
have
where
them
they
wandering
already
around.
were. Chelovek, are you keeping them in confinement?
They've been living on the operations deck on the flight helipad. There were 4 of them to begin with. 2 sadly died, and we dealt with their bodies in the time-honoured maritime tradition.
Threw them overboard.
Buried them at sea,
Hard to go.
Officer Ivarenko.
Is there nowhere more secure for them to be incarcerated?
They have not been a security problem in the months they have been here. And to your point, Commissar, the radio systems are not functioning, and parts of the station are severely hazardous. We have locked down those parts of the station. You are, of course, free to move around the oil rig once we've returned the castaways to their tents, but
I'm just a little confused.
for your own safety,
Chelovek.
you should not be entering any of the sealed areas.
Chelovek, if you don't consider these people a security risk, why are you stopping us from leaving the medical bay?
Because they might present a risk to your safety in their agitated state.
Then I request you put them in incarceration. Is there a container on the operations deck that they can be locked in?
Yes, sir.
Then make that your priority, please, and make haste. I must inspect what operational components you still have on the rig that we can use for our means of communicating with the shore.
As I said, sir, sadly the communications equipment are inoperable and ruined. Otherwise,
Yes, I understand, but we do have a a highly skilled maintenance officer with us from the Tunguska, Yuri here. He was responsible for the Tunguska's maintenance under the direction of Galena, obviously our warrant officer there. But he is more than capable of making any necessary repairs to bring the communications network up and functional once again.
He doesn't say anything. He seems to be listening for a moment, but then steps backwards and allows the door to open.
There you go, Galena. See? We just needed to be reasonable.
Reasonable, yes. I will do this.
What do you suggest our first priority should be, Galena?
If these people are a security risk, I say we secure them first and find out what is operational on this rig and find out if there's a way of communicating outside so that we can get some sort of rescue.
Excellent suggestions, Galena. Excellent.
Thank you, Commissar.
Yuri.
Yes, Commissar.
I'd like the torch back, please, Yuri.
Okay, I release the door from Smirtny.
Yes, Smirtny steps back as well at the same time as Chelovek does.
Okay, I head over to Slavin.
Okay, we need to find out what sort of state this rig is in.
Chelovek does say it will be first light in about 6 hours. May I suggest, again for your safety, considering the condition the station is in, that you remain in medical until the sun comes up?
That's acceptable to me.
What about the danger areas? Is there anywhere we can actually move that is safe?
The areas of particular hazard have been sealed off. So do not enter or attempt to enter an area that has been sealed. Otherwise, caution is required everywhere aboard the station.
What about the communications? Can we get access to them?
That is one of the hazardous areas that has been sealed.
Of course.
What hazard?
Structurally unsound.
Perhaps maybe one of us can go and see. Just one.
I would not be able to allow you to do that for your own safety.
What about one of you? Can you go? In our stead?
We have already checked these areas and have sealed them because they are hazardous. As I said, the communications equipment is destroyed.
Commissar, what do you suggest?
Well, I'm going to get another 6 hours sleep, then maybe some breakfast.
Yes, you cannot go without a meal.
Found smokes.
We will bring you breakfast at first light, if that is suitable.
That is acceptable to me, Chelovek. Please deal with this security issue, as I said, as a priority. We will rest here for now.
Indeed. And then, if you're not coming out of the rooms, he and Smirtny close the doors, with you inside and them outside.
I'll go and help, sort of get one arm under Fam to help him back up onto a bed.
Yep.
And if we've got enough space around us, sort of no one could perhaps hear us sort of whisper or sort of lean in. Fam, how are you doing? What do you make of this?
Something's wrong. It's not right.
I am very uncomfortable with this. We need to get a better strap for your leg. Try and get some movement for you.
If
So I think a medical aid roll could probably fashion a splint or something. You're still. I don't remember which critical it was that you got.
No, the broken
The
leg.
broken leg. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think you can be splinted. You can't run, obviously, and walking is going to be slow.
Yeah.
But other than that, you can't dodge, an incoming attack. Jumping is going to be difficult. So, but I think I probably won't make you make a medical aid roll for that. I think you can manage that. That will be fine.
But I think Fan will whisper and suggest that should we need to get into a restricted area, then take me to the opposite side of OLENYA Bay. I will ask the Joes for aid in walking. Hopefully they'll buy you the time to get into somewhere.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that. But if you're sure, it will provide an opportunity, I think.
I can at least be a distraction.
Keep an eye on Yuri.
And keep an eye on Slaven.
Yes. You know my thoughts on him. And I'll sort of I'll help him back up onto the bed as best I can, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
There's like a pat. He's like, "Thank you."
Okay, if you're going to get some more sleep, anybody got something else they want to do? Sounds like a big no.
No, I'm gonna stay on. I'm gonna move back to my bunk, I think.
Yeah.
I'll keep on a bunk near to Fam. Basically, more a point of I don't want to talk, so it's a restless tossing and turning and try and get some sleep.
Okay, cool. Okay, so when you wake up, everyone, your health is back to full, but your stress remains at 1. So if you gained any extra stress in that scene, it goes back down to 1 again. Because again, having some more sleep is helping relieve some of the stress, but I'm not going to let you get rid of all of it because this is a stressful situation you're in.
Ain't no party.
So you're woken just as the first light is starting to come through the windows by a couple of working Joes opening the doors and bringing in trays of food. It's prefabricated rations. It's not bacon and eggs. It's not a full fry up, but it's decent food and it's not completely rotten. It's fine. It's edible. Chelovek is there, as is Smirtny, and the third one that you spoke to before, another robot called Geroy, is with you. Geroy says, "We have dealt with the castaways. They are now humanely sealed within the aviation stores and workshop hut on the operations level. And they will be looked after, given the care and comfort that they need."
Well done, Giro. That's excellent news. So, our priority for today will be to make necessary repairs to the power network. Sufficient enough that we may think about attempting repair to the communications array. Now, I understand your communications equipment on this level has been damaged and the deck is unsafe. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
So the communications array itself, however, will be on the upper level. Is that also correct?
That is correct.
So we need to interface directly with that piece of equipment. There should be additional communication equipment within the what was it you called it? The heli deck, the landing area.
The the aviation stores and workshop area. The stores have been cleared, and there are no spares or equipment in those storage areas.
No, but the landing area should have an administration building, and there would normally be communications equipment there.
There is an operations control center. You are welcome within the bounds of the hazardous areas and the sealed areas. As I mentioned to you during the night, you are welcome to go anywhere on the station.
Okay.
Just do not put yourself in harm's way, or we will need to protect you.
Then we will make our way to the operations command center, and please escort Yuri here to the communications array.
Okay, yeah. So they take you up to the top deck. If you want to throw up the map, we can just have a quick look at that.
Yep. I'll just change that over. Okay.
Right, so on this level, you can see to the bottom right. There we go. Where I'm marking, you've got what looks like, in effect, a kind of like like an old shipping container. Really, it looks very similar to that. It's got windows on the front which are all smashed, but that was the control center for the mining operations. You can see that on the other side, to the north side, you've got a communications tower. It's quite battered and beaten up. But yeah, they've brought you up to this level. They're not being obtrusive. They're staying reasonably close, but they're not all over you.
Okay. I would like to take a look at the operations command center, so I'm going to head there. Yuri, please go and look at the comms tower and make an assessment for what you believe it will take to get it operational.
Okay. I will head over to the comms tower. Wherever my little person is on the map. But,
yeah, I'll put them on the map.
But I'm assuming that I am there anyway. What shall I roll for you to have an investigation of the comms tower to check on its workability?
Give me 1 second. I mean, it looks pretty battered. The doors at the far end are both open and kind of flapping in the wind. The place looks very, very dilapidated and derelict.
Is there a way for me to see if there's any damage that is potentially to be repaired off this comms tower?
You're at the comms tower, are you? Not the operations
sorry.
control?
Sorry, it was me. I'm at the operations control center, and Yuri's at the comms tower.
Yeah,
okay,
I was sent there. Yeah.
Okay, let's put the map onto the bit wider then, rather than have it on the op center when we're at the thing. Okay, that's cool. So this is like a standard comms tower. You can climb it to get to the relevant equipment that's there. It like the operations center, it looks pretty battered and rusted, and you're not sure how safe it is. I mean, it's not about to fall over, but it doesn't look. You wouldn't let your kids play on it. Let's put it that way. Well, you might if you didn't like your kids very much.
Could I just do a check on the ladder of the comms tower to kind of like see its rigidity? I won't try climbing it, but I'm just kind of like checking its.
Yeah.
Is it safe enough to really probably to take my weight? But is it going to suddenly jar off as I'm climbing it potentially? I mean, I don't know until I try, but if I just.
It seems reasonably steady. I mean, this whole place is creaking at the seams, and there is rust everywhere. And when you're walking across the deck, there are decking panels that clank, clank as you step on them a little bit. the whole place feels rickety. But you give it a good tug, and it seems okay.
I head back to Mashenko and report that the comms tower it's a bit worse for wear, but it looks like it's about to fall over. But I can try and climb up it if you wish, but there's no chance that it may not collapse whilst I'm on it. There's a chance it may collapse as I'm on it. Do you want me to climb up the ladder and investigate?
Do you need to be on the communications tower to make repairs? Can you not do it from the base?
You'd need to climb up it to check the equipment.
Yeah, I need to be up there, Slavin.
We don't need to be able to talk, Yuri. This is what we need to remember. And I look around to see how close the Joes are standing to me.
20 feet away, so they're not right next to you.
Okay, so I'll lead Yuri from where I'm stood at the base of the stairs to the operations centre, and I'll move over to the handrail at the edge of the deck, as if I'm taking him out to show him something on the horizon. And I'll move in close, and I'll just say, Yuri, we don't need to talk. We just need to power the communications device. I mean, it was the OLENYA Bay becoming decommissioned was a big thing, and if it comes on stream and starts sending signals back to the shore, then somebody will notice, and hopefully that somebody who notices will send someone here to investigate. I agree with Galena, as strange as that may sound, that something odd is going on here. For areas of the command center would be an area I would expect to still be operational when the rest of the facility isn't. It's one of the areas where people would muster or go to be safe. It's one of the reinforced areas. So structural damage sounds intentional, not accidental.
Okay.
So I don't wish to share our plans, Yuri. We just need to power the communications array.
Okay. So I'll salute the commissar and I'll head over to the group and just report that I think that the comms tower is in working order.
You're saying that to whom?
I say that to Galena and Fam and Son if they're with us.
Yeah, have you all gone up to this deck?
We didn't. I think it was just those two.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So I obviously don't say it to them. I thought they were with us. So
Fair enough.
I just head back, or maybe I just stand by waiting further information from Slavin as we're outside the now the operation control center.
I'm going to go in the operations control center and see if there is any damage or any equipment that's working. You know, what's inside basically.
Yeah. So this looks pretty much like it's been stripped.
Okay.
It's yeah. I mean, the windows are smashed and are broken. The doors are kind of a bit bent, which is why they're not shut and they just flap in the wind. The wind has obviously been blowing through this for months and months and months. A lot of the stuff in there looks like it has been deliberately stripped. Yeah, it's a write-off.
Okay. Then I'll go with Yuri to the communications array and just take a look there and confirm what Yuri has already told me, that it's, you know, it looks structurally unsound and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, as Yuri did, it looks a bit rickety. It doesn't look safe. It's very rusty. But when he gave the ladder a good tug, it didn't come away in his hands.
Yeah. Okay, and then I guess we'll head back down to the medical bay. I'm assuming Sun, Fam, and Galena are still there.
Okay, whilst you're still at the top, though, Galena, Fam, and Sun, what are you doing whilst those two have gone up to the upper deck?
I particularly want to get out of that room. What else have we got on this level? Steve, if you're able to switch the maps over.
There you go.
Yeah, so this is the crew deck.
Did they say that they were keeping the not prisoners up in the aviation storeroom next to the landing pad?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and the one thing that you two did notice when you went up the top there is that landing pad looks like a little camp, and there are sort of rows and rows of tubs with stuff in them, sort of seeming like trying to grow stuff.
Right.
And there are butts to catch water, and so it does look like that they've been living on that area and trying to use it to grow some food.
Okay.
I think with Slavin out of the room, and I sort of know Ivo Galinya's sort of position on things, but I look at Sun and I'll just be like, the Commissar, his need for power for the UPP is blind to his surroundings.
I think the Commissar is potentially just doing his job, but I also agree. I don't think he's the right person for the job.
Something is wrong here.
I agree. Something is very wrong.
I think things haven't
that's for
been
him
right
doing his
since
job.
Tunguska.
He's towing the company line, but doing it too much. He's going to put us in danger.
We need to explore.
How long has it been since the Tunguska went down?
3 or 4 days now, because you spent a couple of days at sea in the lifeboat after it sank.
I would presume, obviously, we sent out any distress communicators to sort of say we were going down.
You could make that assumption, but
do we?
you
Yeah,
don't know.
I don't know particularly, but I would make that.
Basically, the ship went down very quickly.
But we have been out of communication for several days, so surely there should be something being sent after us if things are truly as they should be.
Why was this place abandoned? Why is there nobody here?
Why is the Americas here?
He nods.
The United Americas is what's disturbing me the most.
So this planet is a shared planet. There is competition between the UPP and the UA to get the resources off this planet. So United Americas being on the planet isn't necessarily odd. Being on the platform.
On the platform.
Be, yeah. Or it might not be. It's for you.
Are the Joes still stood outside of the door or in the room, or?
There's a couple of Joes outside the doors, just kind of acting as chaperones, really.
I guess I just look at the other two and I'll just be like, "Shall we go for a walk?" And then I kind of like try and hop off with my splint and like try and somehow make a crutch to then like get ourselves out and about and start exploring through some of these rooms.
I think there's probably you can find a crutch here in the medical bay.
Cool. I also I have a pistol on me. I'm going to hand it to Ivo if you don't have a weapon.
No. I think I don't even think I got the wrench. No, I am disarmed.
I will hand you my Eva pistol. DVA pistol.
Okay.
You will be better shot than me at the moment.
They're probably hit with the aim. Can I check to see if it's functioning and loaded and etc.?
I think it's unless Fam
I didn't shoot.
have been doing, being less than punctilious in their maintenance routines for looking after the weapon, then I suspect
No, he would
it should
be
absolutely
pretty
fine.
on it. Yeah, and I think it's
Have you got the
still pretty loaded.
stats? Have you got the stats for the gun there, Ian?
Probably not.
If not, I can.
I'll ping them over. It's fine.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, you can assume, Galina, that it's in working order. But unless you've got them written down in your character sheet, Fam, you might not. I don't know how many reloads you have.
I think I
You
just have
don't
the
have
one.
any-
It's literally just the
Yeah,
the one
that's what
clip.
you've got.
Yeah, I've got a side handle baton as well, but that's probably going to be a not needed item.
Okay, so you wanted to go and explore a little bit. Steve, did you want to stick up the map for the crew deck when you get a second?
There you go.
Might just want to bring that out a little bit. There we go. Cool. So yeah, as I said, you guys being sort of maritime officers have probably been on board or are familiar with these kind of oil rigs. So I think it's you have a good idea what is where.
Well, Fam's interested in checking out the crew bunks.
Yeah, you can go and take a look at those.
I would
It's
go
worth
to
us
this one
sticking together.
first, but
Well, you two explore the crew bunks. I will go and see the commissar.
I also think as well, when you say that, he's already ahead of you, and he's like actually like trying to force himself to move faster on his crutch and stuff to get to the crew bunks.
Okay, cool.
I'll catch up with Fam and be like, Fam, do not overtax your leg. We do not wish you to be damaged more. Tread with care.
With nods.
And Son, you're saying you're going looking for the commissar, was that?
I'm going to go up deck to find the commissar.
Yep. Okay. You do notice that one of the Joes does sort of, it's not really discreetly, but it's unobtrusively kind of chaperones you and follows you as you go.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I won't look obvious that I know it's following me.
Right. Okay. It's not trying to do it secretly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's cool. The crew bunks, when you get there, Fam, it's basically it is a bunk room for up to 28 crew. One end has got a narrow bathroom and shower facilities. The bunks are triple decked. The place is a bit of a shamble. Lots of metal skeletons of the beds, sort of lying in disarray, pretty much. You do notice that the whole platform is rocking and rolling with the sea, and things do sort of fall over and clank, and it's a bit chaotic.
Yeah. He still tries to like make his way in, and he's looking for any remnants of Quan, and like everything else is like out of the window. He is just trying to find personal effects, trying to find anything, any sign.
Okay. Can you make an observation roll for me, please?
I can. Were we down to 1 stress dice or 0?
1.
Cool.
If Fam's in one side of the bunk rooms, I'll take the other one.
No, it's 2, 2, 5, 4, and a 3 on the stress. Can I push the roll?
You can push the roll if you haven't rolled a 1 on a stress die. Yep. So you gain an extra stress die.
Yeah, that's fine. We have a 6, but we also have a 1 on the stress die.
Okay, so roll your panic. So roll d6 and add the number of stress dice you've got to it as a number. So you've got 2 stress dice.
Yeah.
Is that right? So roll
Yeah.
d6, add 2. So now just roll 1d6
Oh, sorry.
and add 2 to it.
3.
Okay. Yeah, you're getting a bit jittery, but you're okay. I think you thought you saw something that might have been Kwan's, like a bag or something similar to that which she had, and you grab it and look at it, and suddenly realize that it's not hers, it's somebody else's. It just looks identical. But that's kind of shaking you up a little bit.
Yeah, and he's just with that, like he's not necessarily panicked, but he will just like. He's like shuffling from like bed to bed, and he's just like throwing things on the floor, and he's not looking for anything else but. And until he is done with the room, and then he'll try and move down to the other crew bunk and do the same thing, basically.
Yeah, so I think that'll take you a turn, which is about 5 minutes to search that room. Galina, you're looking at the other room.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to that room, it's a complete mess. Otherwise, looks pretty much empty. Did you want to search for anything in particular, or?
So yeah, both similar sort of search, obviously not for the same reasons. I'm looking for any sort of personal effects, any ideas to who would have been here, or anything anyone has left behind of value or note.
Okay, that's an observation roll, please.
Observation. Okay. And 1 darling stress dice. Ooh, that's a 2 on the stress dice, and 2 6s, 2 2s, and a 1.
Okay, so it's no panic. I mean, there's not a lot in here. It's pretty. I think with 2 successes, you can see it looks like it was rapidly abandoned. People seem to have grabbed stuff in a rush. There's very little left in terms of personal effects.
I'll stroll out over to the other side to Fam and sort of call out, Fam, there's nothing in here. Nothing left at all. What about you?
Nothing here. I will come check your room.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to go and search the other room, are you, Fam?
Yeah.
Okay. That'll take a turn again.
Yeah, and I think that for Galina, it's odd to see Fam a little less stoic, and he's like, he wouldn't question your work. He wouldn't question why, what you found or not. And he's just like trying to get past you and get into the room. And it's just like pulling stuff.
Fam, I'll hold my hand out, Fam. I've searched this. There's nothing here.
No, I must look.
Okay, whilst you're searching there, Son, you're heading up to the top deck.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can find the commissar.
Yeah, I think you can find them. They're probably just finished looking at the comms tower and we're heading back in your direction. But you can meet them on the deck there. Yeah.
Okay. I'll see if I can see Commissar first from a corner of a building, just to make sure that he is clear. And when he's alone, when Yuri walks away, I will stand up straight and I will march over to Commissar, and I will stop and I will salute and I will say, Commissar, I have some information for you.
Pilot Son, please report.
I have recently been talking to Warrant Officer Galina Ivarenko and Marshal Famvo Min. I believe they have disinterests towards you.
You
don't know about it, guys. You don't know about it. As characters.
Son, yes. I am not surprised. I mean, if we look at the events on the Tunguska, then clearly it can be only down to one of 2 things. Sabotage, which clearly lies under the purview of our Marshal. Poor maintenance regime, which would be down to the warrant officer in charge of the schedules and the inspections, which is clearly Galina, who is now the standing warrant officer in charge. I'm sure she will be positioning herself to pegging poor Yuri.
Yuri pipes up and just says,
You've gone
Himself.
away.
So I think
Oh,
you're
okay.
not
Yuri
hearing
walks
this,
off.
Yuri. So yeah,
I'm not here.
you can see them talking to each other in the middle. You can't hear what they're saying, so you can obviously go and join them if you wish, Yuri.
So,
All right, well-
Commissar, with all due respect, Yuri Turganov is lazy and no good.
Yes, I realise that, son. But
Is this the point that would I come in at the conversation where I hear lazy?
If Sun is allowing you deliberately saying
Yeah.
that so you hear it, then yes.
If you're walking back, I wouldn't. My eyes are focused on Commissar. I'm in salute position and feeding back my report. If you've then come up behind me, I don't know.
Yeah, and
Yuri is
Mashenko's
lazy
going,
and no good.
I mean, I'm walking back anyway because I see that Commissar is talking with Sun, and obviously, I have good feelings towards Sun. I feel that, I feel safe when Sun is around. So
Yuri is a parasite sucking on the UPP.
Sun, how could you say that about me?
yes, we must stick together because we have the UPP interests at heart. Now, Yuri may not be a shining example of UPP hard work ethic, such as yourself, son, but I'm sure Yuri, after the events on the Tunguska, will be looking to apply himself and redeem himself, because what we must remember is that any issues with maintenance come down to the people in charge. They are the ones that set the schedules and set the inspections. But, Yuri, this is what you must remember. They will look to you and try to lay blame wherever they can. Now is your opportunity to set that right. If you, Yuri, junior engineer, can make that step forward and take responsibility for making that communications array operational and ensuring my safe departure from this platform, then that will go a long way towards clearing any doubt as to who was at fault with any maintenance issues on the Tunguska, should that have been found to be the reason it sank.
I can try my best.
Not your best, Yuri. Not your best. There's no try. There's any fail or succeed. We must succeed in this, Yuri. You must get in the right frame of mind to succeed.
Wise words, Commissar.
does that mean you're climbing the ladder on the comms tower then, Yuri? Or not?
If he needs a little bit of a push, I might like to use one of my talents.
You can give it a go, yeah.
Can use personal safety? Just going to check to see if that applies.
Okay, so that doesn't really apply, no.
Okay.
So that means if your safety is if you're in danger or you're being
So that's not
attacked,
an immediate thing. Yeah.
you can make a manipulation roll to divert that attack onto something else, on somebody else.
Okay.
So, like, you can step out of the way of the bullet, and oh dear, Yuri happens to be behind you. That's basically what it means.
Right, I shall say that.
Or
later.
whichever other character you wish. I'm not saying that you should be going after Yuri, of course.
Are any of the working Joes around us at this moment? Are they sort of
Yeah.
around?
Yeah, there's 3 of them, sort of 20 or 30 feet away. Again, they're kind of chaperoning for your safety.
I will ask one of the working Joes if any of them know the location of a toolkit that I could use to make repairs if needed.
Yeah, I think they can produce a toolkit for you. Yeah.
Okay. So if they provide one relatively soonish, I can take it. I don't know how I would work with me climbing up the ladder with the toolkit, whether there's like a strap that I can strap it on me as I'm climbing with both hands.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, well,
yeah.
assuming then I start to head up the ladder on the rickety ladder.
You do need to make a mobility roll to climb the ladder, though.
Okay.
But
Well,
it is a ladder, so you get +2, even though it's a bit rickety. It is a
okay.
proper
So
ladder,
mobility. Where are you? Okay. Right. Wait a minute.
and you
So-
gain two base dice
Oh, okay.
as a bonus,
Nice.
not-
Okay.
not stress dice, base dice.
Right. So we got no 6s and a 6 on the stress die.
Okay. So the 6 on the stress die is still a success.
Oh, of course.
So-
Yeah. Okay.
So whatever
so,
dice you roll, if you get a 6 on it, that's a success.
Excellent.
It's
Okay.
it's
So
only
one
a
6 then.
1. Yeah, it's only a 1 on your stress die that you need to worry about.
Okay.
a problem.
So just 1 6 then.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you get up there. You can see when you're there that the kind of the comm links need repairing. You need some spare parts for that. You can't just sort of jury rig them. Fairly standard spare parts, but the storage room you went into when you first arrived on the spider deck, the lower deck, was completely cleared. I mean, literally, there was nothing in it. Not even a box.
Okay. And there's nothing that I could potentially do as a sort of a bodge job as part
No.
of my time up here. Okay.
No, you need spare parts to do that.
Okay.
You
All
can,
right.
you
Well.
can tell, you can work out which spare parts they are. Very standard sort of circuit boards and a bit of wire and stuff. Very
Okay.
easy stuff. But you need the specific parts.
Okay, well, I'll remember that. Obviously, I don't know with the exact. I personally, Josh doesn't know that, but obviously, Yuri will know the parts that he needs.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll head back down the ladder to report back to Commissar and the pilot son.
Yeah,
Slum.
and you think with the right spare parts, it'll take you about 5 minutes to repair. It's not a big job.
Okay, all right. Shall I do another mobility check to come down?
No, I won't make you make another one.
Okay.
But it was quite hairy up there because the thing is rickety, and you kind of think if it breaks and it goes the wrong direction, it might just pop you straight over the edge of the.
I know it might be too late to ask, but obviously please do say no. But did I see anything whilst I was up there, like an observational deck area? Because I'm quite high, right? Did I
Yes.
see anything out into the distance that I could see in my time up there?
You can't see any other ships. You can't see anything like that. What you can see to the east is what looks like a weather front coming. And there's
Okay.
big dark clouds, and you can see a little bit of lightning within those clouds. You could probably pick up a little bit of the freshening wind blowing in your hair as you're up there as well.
Okay. All right. Well, going back down and reporting back to the Commissar. And I head over, climb down the ladder, head back to the
Yeah.
Commissar. I don't know if Sun is still there.
I'm still there because I haven't been released.
Oh, okay. I salute as well as I come back.
That's right.
Yeah, Rimmer style, yeah. And I
Yuri,
say,
you look ridiculous.
Commissar, can I be released, please, sir?
No, Yuri. Please report.
Okay, with my hand in the air.
Put your hand down, Yuri.
Oh, sorry. Commissar.
You can put your hand down
Look-
too, son.
You're loving this, Steve, aren't you? You really
I
are.
am, yeah.
Commissar, bad news. We need spare parts to repair this comms tower.
How many spare parts, Yuri, and what spare parts do we need?
Circuit boards, and I think there was other just basic
Yeah.
spare
You could-
parts that we would have. I report
Yeah.
these to you.
He-
Yeah.
He can tell you the kind of things that you need, but they're not. They are specific things. So
Yeah. And you said, Dave, you mentioned that I would have seen that these spare parts, the when we walked through, probably would have been nicked already, not nicked, but cleared already, right? Or is that more of a backstory that?
no, just
I
saying
could-
that. So yeah. So when you first arrived on the lower deck, you went into one of the storerooms on the spider deck, and it was basically completely cleared of stuff. There was absolutely nothing in there.
Okay. All right. So
Okay,
I report back to
there's
the Commissar. Yeah.
three other buildings on this deck. There's the storage C, the drilling workshop, and the storage shed. Yuri, let's check out the other buildings to see what spare parts are available, and
Yes,
then
sir.
we'll take it from there. Okay.
Okay, you can quite quickly see that these storerooms again have been cleared. They are empty of anything useful. Okay, pausing there. Downstairs, Galena and Fam. You finished your search. Fam, you find nothing else of interest or value
Okay.
in there. What are you two doing?
Bam. What is it you're looking for? Why are you so determined to find something?
And I think that you probably say that as he's still like just like he'll like open a bag, throw it across the room. He'll like open a box, and he just stops, and he's like, you can see he's in pain, and he's trying to bear weight on his leg just to kind of get through here, and he just like looks kind of like over his shoulder. It's like,
I can help. Tell me what it is. You can trust me.
he pulls
It's me.
from his jacket, from his under his shirt, is a photo, and he looks at it and he turns around. It's like,
Quan. She was here when the station went quiet. I must know what happened to her. I must know why this place was abandoned.
and he just looks at you, just in this detritus and like debris in this room, and just looks at you, and there's like a tear in his eye, and he's in pain emotionally and physically.
Right, then we will find what happened. We will find anything we can of her. Was she an officer?
She worked here. It's been many years, but I must know.
Must be some record somewhere.
You'd think.
We need to look around, perhaps within the restricted areas as well.
Okay,
And
Steve,
then you
did
see
want to,
his eyes kind of glint, and he just nods.
did you want to put up the map, Steve, for this level for Galena and Fam to refer to?
We could look at it.
Okay, pull it out a bit so we can see the map a bit more widely. Thanks.
I think we should head to the supervisor rooms, see what's in there.
Yeah.
That would be quite likely a place we can find some information.
Yeah, and he agrees, and he like shuffles his way over to you, and will take the hand.
I would suggest we look now while we are safe to
Alone.
do so.
Yeah, and there's an understanding there, and yeah, he will do what he can, and he will ask.
I'll get your arm underneath my shoulder again, and and help you along.
Yeah, and there is an urgency in his like hop as he's like keeps that leg off the ground, but then like it's almost like you have to keep up with him. Supervisor's room then I guess is where we want to go.
Okay, as you're heading down in that direction, as soon as the Joes realise kind of where you're heading, one of them steps forward and says, "That area is secured because it is dangerous. You're not allowed in there." And you can see that the door is kind of like heavily kind of reinforced and has got heavy lock on it.
Heavy lock that looks like it's the kind of thing that we need a key or to break.
It looks like you could use a key to open it, but you could try and break it. But you say the Joes are coming up and saying it's unsafe to go in that room. We cannot allow you to try and access this room.
What makes it unsafe?
It is structurally unsound.
Is the floor outside of the door structurally unsound? Because currently stood there, like, does it seem like it's going to be like seeping rust, or is it like somehow that barrier of the wall is stopping all of this structurally unsound area?
Where you are is kind of no different to the rest of the areas you've walked on, so it doesn't feel super safe. It's a bit rusty. Like I said, the floor panels are a bit misfitting and bent and rattle a bit as you walk on them, but they don't feel like they're going to break underneath your feet at this moment. No.
I'll turn to him. Can we open the door at least? Let us look in visually, just so we can see what we can at the other side of the room.
I'm sorry, we cannot let you do that.
Why? We have no intention of going inside. We merely wish to see it.
It is unsafe.
So we will not go in. However, we wish to see the room with the room physically.
I'm sorry, we're not allowed to allow you into that room.
By what order?
By our standing orders. Safety protocols.
I kind of like nod to Ivo, and I'll start I release my arm from his shoulder, her shoulder, and I'll be like,
His shoulder.
I'm gonna go back.
"Oh, my apologies."
I need to go back to the med bay.
And then there's almost a smile and a glint in his eyes, and just slips over and just clatters into the ground, and he screams in pain and looks at the Joes like, help me up.
One of the Joes does come across to you and try and put their hands under your shoulders and try and lift you up. The other one stands as he had been next to Galena.
Yeah, and I will instruct it to.
I'll move over. It looks as though I'm moving over to Fam. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll move over and order it to sort of help him up.
What, the one who's talking to you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll make it look as though I'm moving away from the door.
Okay. It looks across and says, Ivan is doing a sufficiently good job. He does not need my help.
I will pull rank and order him to. I wish to make sure he is safe. Please, both of you, let us get him back to the medical room.
Okay. So that is was it manipulation roll? Or
Can I help with that at all? Since I'm sort of faking needing to be carried.
Yes. I'll give you +1 dice, Galena, for the situation you've set up in trying to do this.
Okay.
And if not, we're shooting our way out of here.
So yeah, so this working Joe is called Vladimir. The one who is trying to help you up is called Ivan.
So the pull rank, does that give me? What's it?
It ups your stress by 1.
Yeah, your stress goes up by 1. You make a command roll with +1 dice, and it's against the target's manipulation.
Oh, not bad. So that's 8 dice and 2 stress dice.
Come on, Rich.
Oh fuck. Okay, it's a 1 and a 6 on the stress dice, and 1, 2, 3 6s.
Okay.
A 1, 2 2s, a 3, and a 4.
So, okay, you don't need to worry about any results other than 6s or 1s, and you only need to worry about 1s if it's on a stress dice.
Okay.
So
I got a 1
how many
and a 6 on the stress dice. I got
how many
4
sixes
6s
in total?
4 6s total.
Okay. And how many stress do you have?
I now have 2 because I've pulled rank.
Okay, so roll a d6 and add 2. This is your panic. So that 1 on your stress die means you're panicking.
Okay.
So you need to tell me the total.
8.
8. Okay, you start to tremble. All skill rolls using agility now suffer -2 until the panic subsides, which is at least 1 turn, which is 5 minutes. But you're yeah, you've been dealing with these other like Chelovek and Smirtny that seem quite powerful personalities, and you're looking at this thing in the eye, and it's looking right back at you, and you're beginning to get, oh shit, what's it going to do? And it then says, of course, and it leans down and it helps pick up Fam. The two of them between them pick you up in a careful and caring way as they possibly can, and they start carrying you back to the med bay, leaving you, Galena, on your own by that door.
Okay.
I will do everything I possibly can to slow them down. Like, wait, and then like have to adjust my position or like be like, and like I will milk the pain. But I want to try the picture where I am before I get carried. Like I want to be able to like just like maybe like have it in my hand still and just be like dropping it so that Galena can see it.
Okay, make a manipulation roll, Fam, and let's see how well you do.
Oh, I actually get quite a bit in this. Double fives on the stress, and we have a on the regular dice we have 2 6s and 1 1.
But no 1 on the stress dice.
No 1 on the stress.
Okay, so that's a couple of 6s. Yeah, you're doing a great job of slowing them down and delaying them and making them do more stuff in the med bay than they might otherwise have done.
So were you saying as you're going on to me to try and look at this picture?
I basically like where I leave you, I've dropped this picture, this thing that I've clutched onto, and you saw me holding when I was like searching those rooms frantically.
Yeah, I'll go and pick that up, and once they're a distance away, I'll start working on this door.
Yeah.
Okay. So the door, you can either try and smash it open if you've got something you might be able to do that with. Do you have a cutting torch or anything like that on your character's equipment list?
Just having a quick look.
I could probably check.
No cutting torch, no.
You're Galena.
No. Can I influence it to open?
No, you would have to use Comtech to try and hack it.
You have
Could he shoot through the lock?
I'm meta here. I'm not even here. But... Shoot it!
So you could try shooting it if you wanted to.
I'm going to Comtech it. I'll Comtech it first. See if I can. No, I'm going to try the non-noisy means first.
Was that nothing?
Yeah, exactly. What was what? Yeah, exactly.
Trying to cover your fart with a cough.
What we need is Fam to bang on the floor and a regular beat.
Yeah.
don't bang.
All I can picture is a librarian in Raise the Lost Ark 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Raise the Lost Ark 3.
Okay.
Uncool
Contact roll. I'm
Last
a
Crusade,
rinker.
isn't it? Last Crusade.
Oh wow. Okay. 3 6s. 4
Any
6s.
ones on a stress die?
No ones on a stress dice. A 1 on a normal dice.
But that's fine. You don't need to worry about that. Okay, yeah. Clunk. It unlocks. With 4 successes, that was a piece of piss. When you can see it's quite a complicated system, and you've just danced through it.
My ass.
Okay, can we bring the map up again, please, Steve? And yeah, you can pull the door open if you want to now.
I do so.
It's very heavy. I mean, it's very heavy, but you can manage to do it. You can manage to pull it open.
Am I going to be able to, if I close this door behind me, will I still be able to open it back up? Having hacked it.
Yes, I think you now know the codes to open it.
Cool.
So, Steve, can you open up the map a bit so we can see the full extent of the supervisor room, please? Thanks.
Can I also? I'll look at this the photo that Fam dropped, or whatever it was Fam dropped. What am I looking at, Fam?
So what you see is a younger Fam and a woman, and there's probably like a little writing on the back that just says Fam Vo Min, which you know would be my name, and another name which is K Kwan. and they look really friendly. They're very close to each other. It looks, almost like a young couple in a way. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll bear that in mind as I'm looking around.
Yeah.
Okay, what you see here, Galina, is kind of this would normally be like the supervisor's offices, and along the bottom are the sort of sleeping cubicles where the supervisors would live. At the far end, on the top, is a window. That window is completely smashed out. This whole room is an absolute shambles. It's got sort of boxes and equipment all over the place. It's got pipes and very thick wires, and in the center, or a bit further than just near the window, which is smashed, there are a couple of sort of like mechanical units or electronic units. One looks like a portable generator, which seems to be generating some power. Another, you've got Comsen, haven't you? So I think you recognise it. It looks like a where are we? It looks like a kind of like a radar or receiving station.
Okay.
That seems to be scanning for signals or scanning the area.
Is it a portable or is it a?
It's portable, but it's going to be a number of people to move it, so it's not.
Yeah,
put it in your
it's
pocket.
not something I can pick up and chuck around with.
No.
Can
you also see before you finish, there is one of the big cables attached to it runs out of the broken window.
Okay. Obviously, before I tread too far into the room, I do want to sort of keep an eye on my footing. As much as I'm a bit unsure about their truthfulness about the integrity of the room, I am keeping an eye on it. I'll head over to check out the comm thing and look out the windows to where the wires are going.
Okay, Steve, if you want to bring out the map, zoom out a little bit, please. So I think the room is quite a mess. So can I have a mobility roll, please, Ivarenka?
Yep.
Keep going, please, Steve, because I want to see the top right hand. That's it. A bit further. Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Two sixes, no ones on the panic bus.
That's cool. You managed to step around all the wires and the bits of equipment and stuff that are lying around. When you get to the broken window, you can see that the wire, it's a very thick kind of bunch of cables. Runs out. It's attached to the railing, which is I'm using my cursor, but on the wrong thing. So yeah, it runs through here. You can see my red dot.
Yeah.
The cable runs across to the railing. So this area here is an open platform overlooking, looking out. And this bit here, the drilling floor, is on the deck below.
Okay, yeah.
The cabling runs across to here. It runs along there, and then it runs in through the broken windows on the far side, which is the Comsen room. And all the windows there look smashed. That room, what you can see from over here, looks an absolute disaster area as well. It looks very, very smashed up.
Okay. Right, I'll make note of that.
The doors to the supervisor's like sleeping cubicles are all shut.
Okay. Can I check the two machine, the radar and the other device you said about? Can I see anything on the radar at all?
No, nothing.
And what was the other device you said?
It's like a radio receiver.
Okay.
That it's that's monitoring, but you're hearing nothing. It's not picking up any signals. No.
Okay. I'll head to the first of the rooms, the supervisor rooms, then. Probably. If I go, I'll start from the very first one from where I came in. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Yeah. Okay. So that room is. Yeah, it just looks like a sleeping room for an officer that just looks like it hasn't been slept in for many months.
No, any personal effects or cubby holes or anything like that?
No, it looks a bit
Very Spartan or very.
yeah, it looks very Spartan. Yep.
Rinse and repeat. I'll move on to the next room then.
Okay.
Are there any is there any names on the doors or anything like that?
There might be actually.
Probably should be a thing to check first.
Let me just bear with me a moment, and I will tell you. So the first one is, so they've got little slots where you like slide the name in.
Yeah.
The first one doesn't have a name at all. The second one has the name of someone. Bear with me.
That's cool.
It's really building up the tension for the last 10 minutes.
That's it. Eager for it now. And obviously, while you're referencing, I will check all the doors for a name before I go into any others.
Okay, so this one is the name on the door is Maria Ansanova.
Yeah.
There's nothing on the third door. Are you looking inside after you've just checked?
No. I'm as I said, I'm just going to check the names first quickly to see if there is what Fan was looking for.
The third one, there's nothing. The fourth one, there's the name Kai Kwan.
That's the name I'm looking for, isn't it?
That is the name you're looking for. The fifth one has got nothing.
In there is where I head.
Okay. Let's just pause there for a moment, and we'll quickly go back to the others.
Thank you.
We'll come back to you before the end. Don't worry. Okay, Fam, you are still in the medical bay, and you are occupying them, but they're not going to stay with you forever. So they are
a couple of games of chess, maybe like a light dinner, movie. Just let's get to know each other, guys.
Bit of Twister.
Yeah, I'll do the spinning. You guys do all the leg stuff.
But for the moment, they are still with you. Okay, Slavan, Sun, and Yuri, you are on the upper deck. What are you guys doing?
So Yuri's come down from the communications array and said that he needs spare part. You said we looked in the storage shed and storage room C, and it was completely stripped.
Yeah.
Should we head back to the others and tell them what we've found?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there are other places that we can look, but maybe we should report back to the team first.
There's only the drilling workshop and the other place. We could go and look in the air stores, if you wish, while we're here, and see what sort of conditions our guests were living in.
Okay. I mean, I can say, Commissar, I'll go and do that whilst you can report back with the team, and I'll go and have a look and report back to you when I'm done.
As you wish, Yuri, yes. So the aviation stores and the landing pad, I guess, are of most interest.
Can I have a group observation roll from the three of you, please? And that means the person with the best observation makes the roll and can get a dice of help from the others.
I have 1.
0 observation.
So I've got 5 in total.
There you go.
Okay, so you roll 5 dice, but you can get +1 for Sun because he's got the skill. You can't get +1 for Yuri because you've got no skill in observation.
Okay.
So you can roll 6 dice. Plus your stress, of course.
Plus my stress dice. And that's no 6s.
Okay. Fine. So so are you going to check the castaways, or are you going back down to medical?
I'm gonna go back down to medical, but I'd like to hang back with Sun just for 1 second.
Okay. Yuri, what are you doing?
I'm going to go into the aviation stores and have a look in there if that's available.
Yeah, so you can climb up there. You do notice that the steps that lead up to it. So there are steps that lead up to the landing pad, and then from the landing pad you can access the aviation stores. There appear to be sort of like semi-barricades on them. They've been moved aside, but it looks as if the people who are living up there kind of erected themselves some kind of barricade on those steps to stop somebody coming up. They're obviously not very big or anything. They're just quite rudimentary, but definitely an effort was made.
They're still erected now.
You can get past them.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can see that they were there.
Okay, I'm going to obviously keep that in mind, and I'm going to head over to the door to the aviation stores if I'm not impeded in my way there.
No, you're not. You're not impeded at all. So the doors have got a lock on them on the outside. It's like just a rudimentary padlock. You could try and break it off, but otherwise you won't be able to open the door.
Given that I'm an engineer, would I be familiar with these locks in the sense that I maybe know a bypass or some way of maybe engineering it to look like I don't want to damage it enough that it's broken, but maybe to kind of like hotwire it in a way?
I'll give you a heavy machinery roll to try and do that.
Okay, so heavy machinery is... Ooh, got 7 dice.
And again, remember your stress.
Yes, I will do that. Okay, so 1-6.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think you can unlock it. Yeah, I think that's okay.
Okay, so vroom, like a hot wire of a car, and it just opens.
Yeah. Okay. So the room it opens into is, well, it's quite large. It's a big sort of workshop with what would have had equipment and spare parts and stuff, tools for the vehicles that will be landing here. Again, it's pretty much empty. There are some rudimentary tools and the odd bucket and stuff lying around, but not much. There are 2 people here kind of cowering in the darkness. Obviously very frightened.
I put my hands up as if to say I'm no threat, and I say, I'm not looking to cause any trouble. Do they understand me?
They speak in they talk to you in English, which you don't really understand. Make an observation roll to see whether you can pick up the gist of what they're trying to say.
Okay, observation. Well, that's obviously 4 dice plus. Yeah. Okay, so that's no 6s.
Okay, you can push that if you wish.
Let's do it.
So you add another die of stress.
Okay. Oh dear. So I rolled 2 6s and 2 1s on my stress die.
Okay.
So both 1s on my stress dice.
Okay. Only one counts, so you don't need to worry about that. But you do
Okay.
need to roll for panic, although you have succeeded at the moment, unless your panic is too extreme. So roll a d6 and add the number of points you've got in stress at the moment.
Okay. Okay, so that's a 6 on the stress die, so I now have 7 stress in total.
Okay. So now that doesn't add to your stress. Okay,
Oh,
so
okay.
so how many stress points did you have? How many
Add
dice
1
did you
stress
roll?
die.
Okay, so by pushing, you'd gain a second one.
Yep.
Yeah, so you've now got 2 stress.
Yes.
So for your panic, because you rolled a 1 on them, your panic, you roll a d6 and add 2. If you had 3 stress
okay.
dice, you'd
So it's
roll a
8 in
d6 add
total.
3.
Yeah, so I rolled a 6, obviously plus 2, so I now
it's
have
8.
10 total. Or is it now 8,
No, 8.
total? Okay.
So this doesn't change the number of stress dice you have.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
understand now.
This
Yeah.
is so your stress dice tell you when you panic. They've told you that you're panicking because you rolled a 1, and this is now the extent of your panic.
Okay,
But
so 8
that
is
roll-
the panic. Okay.
Yeah, that roll doesn't modify your stress. However, sometimes the panic result might give you more stress.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
So you rolled an 8. So you start to tremble uncontrollably, and you get -2 to all agility checks until the panic subsides, which is going to be a while. I'll let you know when that happens. And the reason that you do that is you got 2 successes. You are understanding some of the things that they are saying, and they are saying the robots are bad. They killed our friends. Don't trust the robots. Shift back to Galena. Can we have the map up, please?
Yep.
Oh, here we go. This is where like the
Can we have
piles of skulls are, isn't it?
Can we have the map for the deck where Galena is, the crew deck?
Yeah. Sorry,
Thanks.
2 seconds.
That's all right.
There you go.
Cool.
So on the
Let's-
supervisor rooms.
Yeah. I need. So, Ivarenko, you're just outside that door.
Yep.
And I need a working Joe. Here we go. Okay, hang on. Yeah. Okay, I'll get rid of that working Joe. So that working Joe isn't in the room. He is at the
Yep.
door.
Okay.
So as you are at that door, about to open it, you see Chelovek at the door, and he's striding towards you, saying, "It's unsafe for you to be in here. I told you not to be in here. You are forcing me into action." And he comes for you.
It comes from me.
And roll credits for next time.
Oh,
I'm so glad I gave you that gun.
I'm so glad you gave me that gun. Never trust the androids. That's the rule of aliens.
Well, it's a standard alien trope, isn't it? But
Exactly. Oh, dude.
Cool.
It's so alien for him to just be there at that moment as well.
Yeah,
You
that's it.
find
Just
the-
about to open the door,
Be like,
and he's there.
So yeah, your observation test on the roof was to see whether you noticed that Chelovek had moved off swiftly, and you didn't. You didn't see him leave at all.
oh,
Cool. So
Sorry.
Ouch.
Big doo-doo.
managed to bring it into another cliffhanger for next time. So
was
cool.
Chelovek the one that was following Yuri then?
No, Chelovek was he was one of the other ones because we didn't have Chelovek because he was one of these sort of more dominant, forceful minds. We had 2 sort of lesser ones.
I think
Garoy and something else, I think, wasn't it?
There was Chelovek, Smirtny, and Geroy were like the 3 primary
yeah, we had
personality
Vladimir
ones.
and else. But I didn't know
You
if
had, you
Josh
had
going
Ivan
into
and Andre, I think, or something like that.
Vladimir and Ivan and
Yeah.
Torosani was the third one.
I didn't know with Josh going into the aviation room and there was no like Joe behind him. I was like, is it that one that's like left him and he's had this opportunity to go in there, or?
Yeah, because I was expecting him to get stopped doing that.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think at all.
Didn't think about little old
It
me,
might
did
come
you?
downstairs. That would be the last thing in my mind.
Cool.
Dude, just like yeah, straight to the boss. That was amazing.
Just out of interest, this is completely not relevant to anything right now. If something was to happen to the commissar, who's next in command?
That's
Do I outrank the pilot?
I think you probably do. Yes.
You do, yeah.
Cool.
Technically, I'm not in command. I'm merely there to look after your
actually-
political well-being.
Yeah. Technically, you're in command, Richard, as the officer. But obviously the commissar is on a completely different.
It's a different. Yeah,
management chain.
it's the outside sort of scale.
And nobody, no matter how powerful they are, wants to piss off the commissars.
No.
Oh,
My
this is really
family
cool.
talk.
Thank you.
Cool.
No, thank you ever so much, guys. That's brilliant.
Yes,
Yeah.
thanks, guys.
That was very good.
Sets
Thank
us
you.
up for part 3.
Yeah,
It does
I
indeed.
can't wait.
Cool, brilliant.
So,
Cool.
yeah, that was session 2. Session 3 to come. Which do you think that will be the conclusion?
Probably, yes.
Depending on how it goes, obviously.
Depending on how many of us die, yeah.
Depending on how it goes, yeah. It's
I had to get squished by an android, so
Yeah. This could be the commencement of a mad half an hour's worth of murder.
Yeah.
well, we'll have to see how it goes, but yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
Such a big fan.
thank you very much, Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
My pleasure. Thank you all for being such good players.
Yeah, we've enjoyed playing Alien. We really have. It's a great system, and like the stress mechanic especially works really well.
Yeah.
It really does.
It's a lot of fun.
Does. Yeah.
The
And
dread of
thank you for the
rolling
banner,
just-
yeah.
The dread of rolling just one stress dice when you've got like 8 others, but you're like that one stress.
That one
That-
dice. That one
Yeah.
dice. Yeah.
Yeah, it adds that Ridley Scott, tension to it. It's great.
Yes, it does. It really does. And it's weird how one dice, like you say, you got 8 others,
That
and you got
one
one
dice
stress
matters,
dice, but
yeah.
that's the one you look at. And because the game's played around having that as different coloured dice, so I've got black dice and yellow dice, and that yellow one is the only one you look at. Forget about all the other
Yeah.
numbers, just what's on the yellow dice. So
But
yeah,
then sometimes you get a fabulous success when your stress dice come through for you.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and yeah, especially when that's the only one that rolls a 6.
Yeah, that's
a
what I
clutch
was like,
moment. Yes, if you do want to see more about the Alien RPG in general, then you can check out Free League Publishing's website. There's a whole ton of stuff now. We've got the core rulebook, we've got the start set. We have Destroyer Worlds, which is Colonial Marines campaign adventure. We have the Heart of Darkness, which we have played and will be up on YouTube at some point. And I'm not sure what's coming next. There is some more stuff coming out. I'm not sure.
So the next supplement is Building Better Worlds.
That's it.
So it's the Frontier Colonists and Explorers supplement, which I've been lucky enough to do an absolute ton of work on.
Cool.
So I hope it's good. If not, it's my fault.
Well, by measure of the others, it will be.
So that's
Darkness is amazing.
yeah, cool. So yeah, that's now being rushed through to get it into the spot where we can get the PDFs out to the people who've pre-ordered it. So yeah, it's getting there. It's nearly there.
Awesome.
All right, Dave, do you want to sign out and just let people know where you are again?
We are Band of Badgers. Where can you find us? You can find us all over the place, predominantly on Twitch and YouTube. But check out youtube.com/Band of Badgers. Please do like and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your neighbours, tell the pets next door, tell those pesky people at the bus stop. Tell anyone you know about us and tell them to like and subscribe. And you can see all our adventures on our YouTube channel. We do unboxings, we do interviews. We've interviewed Dave Seamark, so go and check that out as well. Fantastic behind the scenes look at everything that Dave does, actually. As well as all these fantastic players. We have players, well, actually, all of us, for a change, are from the UK, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But we have players and guests from all over the world. We even do paintings. If you're into miniature painting, if you're a beginner of miniature painting, you are more than welcome on the Great British Brush Off. That is our show. And absolutely love it.
I'm looking forward to that as well. You know,
Yeah, we got a lot of things that we actually do, and it's all beginner based. So yeah, there's we've got some old stuff, we've got some new stuff coming, and also we've got UK Games Expo coming up. It's just in a few weeks' time. I don't have a link for it, but we will be press. Myself and Steve will be part of the press team. We will be there for 4 nights. I don't know.
3 nights, 4 days.
But if you hear this, if you see us there and you recognise us, I will buy you a cup of tea, and you can have one of my custard cream biscuits.
Yeah,
Could be a lot of cups of tea. Yeah, I'll be there
it should
working for Free League on their stand. So come along and find us if you want to say hello, and that'd be great. It's a great convention. So
It is.
come along and
It
be
is
great.
huge.
I don't know if any of the other players are going to be going along. So if so, it would be great to meet you in the flesh. So yeah, looking forward to it. Less than a month away.
it is less than a month away. Yeah. It's probably
Oh, it's 4 weeks
4
today.
weeks
actually.
today.
It is 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I won't be there, but I did get to meet you briefly at Dragon Meet, which was totally awesome. And
Yeah.
Well, hopefully,
Dragon Meet this year again. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I should hopefully be there for that one, and hopefully I might have a vendor stand. I don't know, but if not, I'm still going to go as a punter and go in and nerd out on all of the different books and try and find all the things that I can blow all my money on just before Christmas.
Yes.
That, and I need to get some alien dice because at the moment I'm rolling my d6s and they're boring compared to the alien ones. I want that yellow panic.
They are nice
Yeah,
guys, aren't
oh,
they?
yeah,
They are
there's
nice
alien
guys.
dice. I was
Yeah,
not
there is
informed
alien
of
dice.
this.
Yes.
Right, and this is
Yeah,
this is an alien
Thank
dice.
you, Mohammed. Thank you.
Building a better world will surely be great.
That's
Yes, it will.
It's a friend of mine called Mohammed, who is one of our patrons for the podcast and came over for UK Games Expo last year. Is coming over again this year, which would be fabulous.
Cool.
And,
Fantastic.
Yeah, so hopefully that's very.
You'll see us
Thank
as
you.
well. We can introduce you to what custard creams are. If you don't know what custard creams are, I will personally provide one for you.
If they don't know what the creams are, get rid of them. Throw them away.
I'm going to end up buying like 12 packs.
It'd be like
creams.
grapes in ancient Rome with the custard creams.
Yeah, here you go. Here you
Just
go.
a day feeding them to people on benches.
Yeah.
You'll just be like, I might need my own vendor stand. And
Just the
have
custard cream. Just
Dave's custard
Bad
creams.
badges.
Actually, that sounds a bit. Yeah.
that's it.
Hey, whatever gets the crowd going, let's do it.
Right then, okay.
It's all content, baby. Let's go. We
We're moving to
can do it.
OnlyFans.
Hey,
Battlefands.com.
Yeah.
got
I'll
to pay
do
the bill
anything
somehow. Right,
Is
go
there-
on, Steve,
is there
you
a
can
big-
sign us up.
Right,
Sign us
right.
up.
Market
Credits.
for Naked Dave and Naked Steve with custard cream.
There is,
I'm not
there is
feeling it
definitely
myself,
not a
but
market.
you know.
I wouldn't
Beer
want
badges.
it.
There might be a
badges,
market
there
for
you go.
keeping us off of there.
I don't know. I reckon if you put that on the Patreon tier, someone will pay you that. 20 grand? Naked
20
Dave.
grand.
Naked Steve.
Do
You
it
always ask
topless. Here we go.
ChatGPT to make it for you or something, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we can't do it on Twitch in terms of service, but we go back to OnlyFans. There it is.
Yeah.
Done.
Right, with that
Right.
revelation, we'll finish the session.
Leave everyone with those glorious thoughts for the evening.
Yeah, we'll leave that one there. Yeah. So thank you, Dave, once again for
Pleasure.
Cheers, Dave.
Thank
Appreciate
you all.
it, mate.
Thank you all.
and tune in next time for what could be the thrilling conclusion to the adventure, but almost certainly the end of Galena. So, thank you very much, and good night.
Taking you with me.
You can try.